It was an overcast Friday morning on the 25th of November, the day after Thanksgiving. Local artist Shane Mc Cullough was due to come in and debut his new Christmas song, Season of Love, for the first time. During this time, I got to talk to Shane and get to know him. Hearing his inspirational story led me to propose the creation of this biography. Join me as I delve into Shane's past, his music career, and his talent in coloring.
I don't remember what first things I wrote about. I just remember vaguely, because my brain injury at 19, I don't remember a lot. I just remember having the Jurassic Park album and wanting to write songs. And so I just put it on one day and I sort of started trying to write songs to it. And then I started putting on songs that I listened to, and I tried to figure out how to write like a rap song, because that's what I was into at the time. Yeah. And so I like write the lyrics out as they're saying it, trying to figure out how they put a rap song together. And I don't think I ever really figured that part out too well, but that's how it all kind of started.
According to Shane, his love for art started at a young age. In middle school, he loved to color. And have you always been, good at coloring like this, or?
Yeah, since I was a little kid, I just started coloring, and I took a couple art classes as a kid. But yeah, I've just always kind of been good at it. I'm good at baking and cooking too, so I'm kind of an artist in all forms.
Does anything inspire you particularly to make these?
Well, I'd like to do it for a career. I'd like to spend a couple years doing an album, touring, do that, and then spend a couple years coloring for TV or movies or comic books. I think that'd be really good careers to go back and forth.
That's good.
And that's actually from Sticky Grow contest. I won with that one. Yeah, people at the service center like me to color them pictures too. Yeah, it's mainly Jurassic World, and then there's some other dinosaur stuff in there too.
So would you consider yourself a big fan of the series?
Oh yes, definitely. I went to see the new Jurassic World. I think I've seen it like 7 times in theaters. People ask me, how can you go and see a movie so many times? But my brain injury, every time I watch a movie, it's like the second or third time I've seen it. Yeah, I really like doing the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs are my favorite.
Is there a reason why? Just because the patterns, or?
I just like dinosaurs. Yeah, I always have. When Jurassic Park first came out, I was really into that. Yeah, that one, the eye looks really good.
It does. So how much time does it usually take you to make one of these?
Oh, usually I spend a couple days on one. I don't know how many hours each day. Just whenever I feel like it, I pull it out and start coloring for a while and put it away. And usually it takes me 2 days or so to do a picture. People ask me how I do it. I could see it before I do it, kind of. You know, it's kind of like another gift. I sit there and I watch it for a while. I'm like, okay, I could do this part this way. Then I try to think 2-3 steps ahead. Like, if I do this color, what's it going to look over here and here, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, I just, ever since a kid, I like coloring, drawing, and in middle school I got into music.
And did you ever design any album covers for your early music or anything?
Yeah, I had album covers for all my 4 albums I did before these 3 that I'm working on now. I had album covers for them drawn up, and I had like little flyers drawn up for them, and like for little singles and everything.
So did you start with singles, or did you start with a full-on album?
Oh, first I started making an album. I was about 21, 22 when I started. It was a couple of years after my brain injury at 19. And I was working at McDonald's. I was like, I don't want to do this forever.
Eventually, Shane got a hold of a game for the PlayStation 2, which allowed him to create his own beats and make his first album. Shane's first few albums were made this way entirely. How did that even come to happen? Like what got you to buy that software for the PlayStation 2?
My friend at the time gave me the Music Generator 3 disc program.
Oh, so you got it as a gift.
Yeah, he's like, here, you should check this out. And put it in the PlayStation 2, and it had a tutorial. And I watched the tutorial. I was like, okay, well, I want to learn how to do this first. So I watched the tutorial, And I go to that part and watch it. I didn't do it in order, of course, because I was just like, I want to do this, you know. So I watch it and get to that part and watch them, and I started figure out how to piece out instruments together and make beats. And then I was like, okay, well, I make the beats and people say they're good. Now, how do I get this onto a tape? And so I went looking, and at a Walmart, they had this tape recorder about like that big, and it had this little cheap microphone that plugs into it. It was about like that tall, really thin. And I bought that for like, I think it was like $10 or $12. And so I had a stereo with 2 tape decks in it. And I could plug the PlayStation 2 into. So I played the beat through that. And once I get the beat sounding as good as I can, then I would play it again, and I'd do like a verse from a song and stop it and play it back. And once I get the vocals good with the music good, then I'd hit record and I'd do it for real. I'd do it over and over, and I had a main tape and I had the practice tape. Once I got a verse done, then I put it in and I put it onto the master tape and I pieced it together like that. And that's how I did my first 3 albums.
Later on, Shane began using a software for the Xbox 360 to create his music, burning it to CDs rather than recording it to cassette tape. After his first 4 albums, Shane went through a dark time. He stopped making music and sold all of his equipment.
I was 23, I think, when I moved back here. And I made the Redwood Phantom album. And I did that with the Xbox 360 and the Easy Muse Hamster Edition program. That's what you make beats on. I think it was like $2 on Xbox Live or .com or whatever. And yeah, I made all the beats for it on there. I bought this 8-channel or 8-track recording thing. I had 8 different channels on it. I plugged the Xbox 360 into the first one, and then I had 7 more to do the vocals with. Yeah, and so I was like, all right. So then I bought this keyboard, synthesizer, whatever it was, and I get those 2 confused. But it was like $300. It came with 5,000 instruments, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And I could figure out how to play them on there, but I couldn't figure out how to record. And the manual, I was trying to read it for a year, but everything's in abbreviations, you know, and I never worked with actual equipment and stuff, so I don't know what the abbreviations would mean. I couldn't do it, so I gave up on everything. I got rid of all my equipment. I stopped writing music for a few years. I went through a really bad time. I got really depressed. I didn't want to live anymore. Like, I went really downhill for a couple years, not having music in my life. And then I started getting my life back together after a couple years. It was about 2 years going through that. And I don't know what possessed me to start writing music again, but one day I just woke up and I started writing this song. It was in my head, you know, and I was writing it, and when I finished writing that song, like after 2 years of not writing, like I started getting emotional. Like I started having tears coming out, you know, of joy, and I just felt a lot better just writing that one song.
Now Shane has 3 new albums. One of them, When the Smoke Clears, is still in production and features his new Christmas song aired on the 25th. The album is supposed to represent Shane becoming whole and prospering in his music and coloring careers.